So, you're moving to Boston. I'm Bill Tierney with Michelle and Art Real Estate down here on the South Shore town of Cohasset. And I'm going to do a quick video today talking about if you're moving to Boston and what your choices are. If you're moving to Boston and you're looking in the suburbs, you can move north, west, or south. You move east, you're going to be in the middle of the ocean. So that's not a common choice. Anyway, your choices up north in Marblehead, Beverly, Nahant, that part of the world. If you want help up that way, I do have friends and clients, but we're not going to cover that in this video. You can move west out to what we call the W towns, Weston, Wellesley, Dedham, Dover. And again, if you are thinking of going out that way, I can make some great referrals to a number of very good agents I know that cover those markets well. If you're coming south, what are the best suburbs south of Boston? That's what this is about. That's what we're going to talk about. Basically, coming south out of the city, you have four towns. You've got Hingham, Cohasset, Scituate, and Hull. And what happens is people will land in Hingham. I'll do a whole separate video on that one. But today we'll talk about the difference between Cohasset, Scituate, and Hull. If you're looking for a waterfront home or a water view home, those are the communities. Hingham, albeit on the coast, has a very limited selection of waterfront homes. Most of it is usually in the higher end of their super competitive market. But, you can find waterfront homes in Hull and Scituate, or water view homes at a reasonable price, or, you can spend several million like you can in most parts on the South Shore. Schools are something to pay attention with. Cohasset is highly ranked by most of the publications. Scituate gets dinged a little bit. It's a much larger town. Not everybody goes on to a four-year school. But if you take those top 50 schools, or top 50 kids out of the Scituate system and out of the Cohasset system, they're going the same place. There's a bunch of Ivy Leagues, a bunch of NESCACs. A lot of kids going south to some of the big schools or going to the West Coast, which seems to be trendy these days. And then Hull, it has a good school system. They send a kid to Harvard every year too. But a lot of people will live in Hull and send their kids to the private school system, so they're not paying the taxes to a Cohasset or a Scituate. Population sizes are different. Hull is probably the smallest. It still has a big summer population. It gets a lot bigger in the summertime. Cohasset, long a summer residence, no longer really is. There are still a few people who come back from the summer, but that's generally more to see family. And then Scituate does still have a lot of summer residents, but that's becoming increasingly less so each year, especially as those summer homes turn over. They get winterized because they usually have some pretty spectacular views. Size and town size and schools makes a big difference. If you're not of the school age flavor or crowd, the art center in Cohasset is a big draw for a lot of people. The theater scene throughout the South Shore is a big deal. The availability of housing stock, whether you need one-floor living and so on, is across all three towns is very good. It's really just a question of personal fit, is what is the best suburb south of Boston. I put more of this in my blog, which I'll put a link in down below. But if you like my videos, please give me a like, follow, or subscribe, depending on where you're seeing this. And appreciate you watching my videos, and make it a good week. Thanks very much.